Hey Satterton, this is Mr. Dubik. In this video, we're going to be going over how to set up your virtual photosynthesis lab. So if you look on the Week 5 Biology online schedule, for Monday, you have your photosynthesis lab, which is going to be due Wednesday, 4/29 at 11:59 p.m. So this is going to be your large assessment for the photosynthesis unit. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to first make a copy of the photosynthesis lab in Google Docs. Once you have opened the document, there's going to be a link in the lab simulation that you must open. Okay, the website is going to bring you to this website right here, explorelearning.com. And then once you're at that website, that is where basically I'm going to demonstrate and show you the steps you need to take to essentially set up this lab and get rolling so that you can complete it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you your lab that you essentially are going to open up. So here's your photosynthesis virtual gizmo lab. And so you can see that this is your virtual lab investigation, and what you're testing is you're looking at the effects of carbon dioxide and light on photosynthesis. So how will carbon dioxide and light affect the rate of photosynthesis? So that's what essentially you're going to be testing in your little virtual simulation here. So here's the link that I included in the document. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on that link, and it's going to bring you to your virtual online simulation. Okay, and now what I want you to do is I want you to go up here in the top right and focus on login enroll. So what you're going to do is you're going to click login and enroll, and you're not going to sign up. You don't need to sign up for anything. What you're going to do is you're going to come down here where it says student class enrollment. Now every block has a different class enrollment access code. So what I want you to do is, based on what your class, what your block is, I want you to go back to the Week 5 Biology online learning schedule and look up your class access code. So I'm just going to go in here for block number 2, okay, and then I'm going to copy paste that access code right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter that right in here, and then I'm going to go to enroll in class. So I go to enroll in class, and then you're going to see this. So what you're going to do is I need to create it. So I'm going to go there. Okay, and then you go ahead, first name, email address. You do not have to, no requirements there. And then just enter your username and password. Okay. So that's all you have to do. So again, I'm going to enter that. And then it brings you that. And then go ahead, I need to create an Explore Learning account, register now. And then you are good to go, and then you should be into your virtual lab. All right. So that's what you need to do there, and so that essentially shows you, this is the diagram that shows you what you need to do here. Now here is your pre-lab questions prior to knowledge. To survive, what gas do we need to breathe in? What reaction produces this gas? So again, 2 pre-lab questions there, and then we go down to the overview. So here's your overview of the lab. This is essentially the background information that you're going to be given and what the lab is all about. So it says, in this virtual lab investigation, you'll be determining how carbon dioxide and light will affect the rate of photosynthesis in the aquatic plant Elodea. So Elodea is our aquatic plant that we're going to be testing in this online virtual lab simulation here. You will measure the rate of photosynthesis by measuring the amount of oxygen that is released from the plant during each trial. So that is what you're measuring right here. You're measuring the amount of oxygen that is released from the plant. And that makes sense because oxygen is a product of photosynthesis. It's a byproduct. So that's how we're going to measure the rate of photosynthesis of this Elodea plant. Okay, so now what you then need to do is you need to figure out the independent variable. Remember, the independent is what I am changing. The dependent variable is the data that you're collecting. Okay, this is your measured variable. Okay, and this is your independent. This is what I am changing. So what's changing in the lab? Okay, and then what you need to do here for your hypothesis is, based on your prior knowledge of photosynthesis, you need to state what you think is going to happen if we increase or decrease carbon dioxide concentration. So for example, in hypothesis 1, you need to essentially predict and come up with an educated guess on if we increase the amount of carbon dioxide concentration in our little lab setup, do you think the rate of photosynthesis is going to increase or decrease? Meaning, do you think more oxygen is going to be produced or less oxygen produced? Okay, and then same thing with hypothesis too. So now we're looking at light intensity. So if we increase the amount of light intensity, do you think the LED plant is going to be able to produce more oxygen or less oxygen? That's what you need to state here, and then if then. So if I increase the amount of light intensity, then the LED plant is going to produce more oxygen because yada yada yada. All right, so that's what you need to do for your hypothesis. Here's your warm-up. So this is going to be your lab setup here. This is going to be essentially what you're working with. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to observe the left pane closely. Okay, and then you're going to answer these following questions. Okay, and then we're going to go to our procedure here, and then this is where I'm going to show you how to set up. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my class, and I'm going to show you essentially the gizmo that you're going to be working on. Okay, so I'm going to launch the gizmo here. Alright, now your temperature is going to always be set to 24 degrees, and then what you want to do is, I'm going to split screen this. So if you follow the procedure here, here is your virtual simulation. This is what you're going to be working on. So you need your temperature set to 24 degrees Celsius, and then for each trial you're going to have different variables. So light intensity is going to be 0%. So for the first trial it's going to be 0, and the carbon dioxide level for the first trial is going to be 0. Okay, and then what you're going to do is, so you're going to set the different levels of light and carbon dioxide in here. Okay, and then you're going to record your oxygen output. Okay, now first it says you need to click on your bar chart, and then also you need to show numerical values. So here we go. So it's at 24 degrees Celsius, your light temperature is 0, your carbon dioxide is 0. Alright, so now you're good to input your data. So down here is essentially what you're seeing on my screen as well. So that's a good thing if you're seeing that. And then now what you need to do is record your data. So essentially when you have 0 light, which is right here, and you have 0 carbon dioxide being input into this environment, what's going to happen is you're going to see that 0 oxygen is being produced. So in your data table, you're going to put 0%. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the right. So the light intensity now goes to 30%. So I'm just going to go in here, type in 30%, hit enter. Oh, still, so I have 30%. So I'm adding a little bit of light, but I'm still adding no carbon dioxide to this environment. So what am I going to get? What am I looking for? I'm looking for this right here, the amount of oxygen being produced by this LED plant. And as a result, you can see that 0 oxygen is being produced. I wonder why. So again, I'm going to input my data here. Okay, and then again, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to 600. I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to go to 600. So now what you see is once I added carbon dioxide, now I'm seeing oxygen bubbles being produced here. If I look in my bar chart, now I see oxygen being produced. So now you're going to receive some data. So if I go down here to 600 ppm to 30% light intensity, now I can record in my data table that the rate at which oxygen is being produced is 26.1%. So I'm going to enter that into my data table. Then once you've worked with and completed your lab, then what you're going to do is you're going to answer your analysis and conclusion questions based on your data. Now remember, The data that you're collecting is how much oxygen is being produced by this Eladia plant. Okay, so that is the data you're collecting, given these two variables right here. So why is counting the release of oxygen bubbles a valid way to measure the rate of photosynthesis? All right. And then here, these questions are looking at your data. Okay. So again, these questions are your analysis conclusion questions. They're all based off of your data here. And some of them are application questions as well. But again, this is your online lab. Okay. Again, I have it here. Click on the tab, enroll, log in and enroll. I gave you my student access code for each block. Make sure you enter your class's block access code and then put it right here where it says class access code. Log in, create a account. Remember, you do not need to give them your email address, and you all should be good to go. All right. This is an awesome virtual lab, so I hope everyone enjoys it. Make sure you do an exceptional job on this lab, because this is going to be your assessment for the topic of photosynthesis. So make sure, again, you do a nice job here. If you have any questions about the lab, remember that I will be holding office hours Monday from 10 to 11. So again, if you have any questions, I'm free. We can set up a virtual online conference, and then I'll explain it to you more in depth if needed. All right. Good luck. Have fun playing around with this virtual online lab. Make sure your analysis questions are thorough and good. All right. So have a great day. Again, this is going to be due Wednesday, April 29th at 11:59 p.m. All right. Good luck. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or set up a conference with me. Thanks. Bye.